Guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am back for another pregnancy update. My last update last week was 30 weeks. I think this week I'm going to do 31 and 32 because I just turned 33 weeks and I'm getting confused being 2 weeks behind. I'd rather just be 1 week behind. It's just fresher in my mind. So this is going to be a 31 and 32 week update. I am 33 weeks today and I just want to let you know how it's going. So it's been a little rough. This may be a TMI video, so if you're uncomfortable, just scroll on by. So I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis in 2007, and anyone that doesn't know what that is, it's an inflammatory autoimmune bowel disease. It causes flare-ups and a lot of uncomfortable, unpleasant symptoms. I have been extremely well controlled. I've been very lucky. With my twins, I was on an injectable called Cimzia, and I didn't have any flares or any issues during pregnancy. Normally, like 75% of people have no issues during pregnancy, and if you start your pregnancy in remission, you follow through in remission. So it's kind of like Crohn's disease. I should add that. That's more commonly what people think of. It's just more localized than Crohn's disease. I've been very lucky. I had to go off Cimzia and switch to Humira because our insurance decided that Cimzia was no longer going to be in a tier where you just pay a medication copay, and we were going to have to pay like $300 a month for it. So I switched to Humira because that was covered. So I've been on Humira, and my doctor and I have been kind of talking that maybe it's not really working, but we were kind of just letting things alone because everything was fine during pregnancy. Starting probably halfway through 30 weeks, so it's been about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks now, I started having like increased bowel movements, like 10 times a day, crazy, urgency, cramping only when I had to go. And it just continued to get worse and worse and worse. And the first week I was calling my OB, like, what do I do? This is awful. And one of my biggest issues is I had my twins at 33 and 1, which would be tomorrow. And I was terrified of going into preterm labor. So I was calling my doctor, like, I'm starting to feel, more cramping and more Braxton Hicks. And with my twins, I did have like diarrhea the week before, but it was very different. The week I went into labor, I could only get comfortable in the shower. So I was in the shower at all hours of the night, and my water ended up breaking at like 32 and 6 or something. So I was already in the hospital at this point. It didn't quite feel the same, but I was still very nervous. So I spent the first week of feeling miserable calling my doctor, the OB, what should I do? And they just kept saying to me, it's probably normal, it's probably hormones, she could be on your intestines, all this stuff. And then at some point they said, have you talked to your GI? And I don't know why it never even occurred to me to call the GI. So I immediately called the GI, and they were like, did you talk to the OB? And I wanted to scream, but I found out that my doctor had been on vacation. She came back on Wednesday, this last Wednesday. And honestly, guys, miserable. I have been miserable. I have 2 toddlers that are 2. I literally could not get off the couch. When I took them outside, I was just sitting in a chair. Like I said, I was going multiple times a day, calling my husband down because it was urgent. I would sleep probably like midnight to like 3 and then be up all night on the couch, in and out of the bathroom, increased, Braxton Hicks contractions, feeling like I couldn't keep up with my water that was coming out and going in. And it was just making things miserable. And I literally sat and cried one day and thought, how am I going to do this for 2 months? Like, I have twins I'm supposed to take care of. Like, what am I supposed to do? No one's helping me. So on Wednesday, my doctor actually called and wanted to get me in for an urgent scope on Friday. So if anyone's had one, they're usually done under sedation. I had to do it unsedated because I'm pregnant. But again, TMI, if you want to scroll by, she only goes in like this far. She's like, it's in and out. I just want to see if it's the colitis. If it is, that's it. I had no problems with it being unsedated. It was fine. Afterwards, you don't even realize you had anything done. It's totally fine. you know, my husband joked you need a pillow to sit on. It's not like that. It's totally fine. It's totally relatively painless. It's not a big deal unless you're having a full scope. But if you're just having a little one, not a big deal. The one thing they did for me on Friday was they did give me a whole bag of fluid because I was already there, and that changed me into a different person. I felt so much better. I knew I was dehydrated. I was trying so hard, and the doctor was just like, I want you to have a full bag of fluid while you're here. And that prevented me from having to go over the weekend or, you know, potentially go in another time. So what she did is she put me on like a medium to high dose of prednisone, which I hate prednisone. And my last GI doctor, I said I would never do it again. I can't remember why. I think it was the side effects, being moody and, you know, irritable. Honestly, I haven't had those side effects yet, and I've been on it for 4 days. The way she explained it to me is it is literally the quickest way to treat the colitis symptoms and hopefully get me back to feeling better. It's relatively safe in pregnancy. Obviously, she wouldn't do it, but it's also a risk benefit where the benefit of being on it and getting this flare under control outweighs the risk of the prednisone, because continuing to have a colitis flare during pregnancy can put you into preterm labor, can make you dehydrated, which can put you into labor and can just cause a lot of issues. So that was Friday. Today is Monday. When I'm filming this is Monday, and I had a couple rough nights still where it was better during the day, but up all night. And last night was the first night where I slept all night in my bed, and I didn't get up to go to the bathroom till 7. So she actually is having me call her today to update her, and she'll decide based on my symptoms if I should go up in prednisone or keep it the same. She's really trying very hard to get this under control quickly, and I am so thankful. Honestly, even the weekend where my nights were rough and I was still up like all night, I was fine during the day, and it was like a miracle. Like, I felt so much better, and I went from feeling like, oh my God, I can't do this for 2 months. I can't chase around 2 toddlers feeling like this. I'm gonna go into preterm labor, to, okay, maybe we'll make it. We'll make it to at least 36 weeks or beyond. So I'm feeling better. I'm back to the normal pregnancy symptoms. I'm back to Braxton Hicks normally when I sit down at the end of the day or sit down at nap. So I finally sit down to relax, and I'll start to feel those just around like my belly button gets hard. I'm back to the normal. My legs are really, really tired. My legs feel much better with compression socks. And I had said last time I used Pro Compression. You can get a lot of compression on Amazon. I am a lymphedema therapist, so I know a ton about compression, but I like the Pro Compression. I like the level. I like the way they fit. And it helps my circulation, which I think, I'm not swollen, but it helps the circulation, which in turn makes my legs less tired. So I wear those most of the time, and not to bed. You shouldn't wear compression socks to bed, side note. But, so I'm back to kind of that. I was nervous because the past 2 weeks I had had a lot of pelvic pressure, and that was making me nervous. But honestly, since we've started to clear up this colitis issue, the pelvic pressure has decreased. My hips feel a little bit better. So I just think a lot of my issues were related to the colitis and not necessarily the pregnancy. So pregnancy related, I really didn't even have time to think about my pregnancy symptoms because of being so darn sick. Like I said, I still have aches and pains. I still get like the ligament pain in my groin, the pulling. I still am sleeping like sitting up on my pregnancy pillow. I'm not laying flat even on my left side. It's just not working anymore. So I am sleeping sitting up-ish. I was going to the couch halfway through the night, but again, I think that's because I was so sick. Last night I spent the whole night in bed. Yeah, so I'm still getting like the pulls here, the uncomfortableness in my hips, but it's not like pressury. So yeah, pregnancy symptom wise, I'm back to feeling like a normal pregnant woman and not feeling so darn sick. I am trying to take it slow with cleaning my house. I am kind of a stickler, and I'm trying to keep it clean, which has been really tough. So I'm starting now to make a list of, you know, today my goal is to do this, tomorrow this, the fridge, this day the kitchen. Like, instead of just like it has to all be done, I'm trying to just kind of like take a step back and make a list and just kind of take it slow. The plan from here on out is that I will probably, with my twins, I was very unprepared. We went into labor early, nothing was packed. So I want to be prepared, but I don't want to be so over prepared. So the plan is, my birthday is April 15th and we'll be 35 and a half weeks. My plan is around then to pack bags for us and pack bags for the kids. Because as of right now, my hospital has a policy that my husband can come, but once he's in the building, he can't leave. So if he leaves, he can't come back. So we want to make sure we have everything packed. So around my birthday, we're going to pack a bag for both of us and the baby, get the car seat in his car, and pack a bag for the twins so they'll be ready wherever they need to go. Because I've heard that the second one is faster, and I mean second pregnancy. My water broke on a Sunday with the twins and I didn't have them till Tuesday. So, but I've had a couple friends that have had their second babies in their car. So I want to make sure I'm prepared. So if we have to leave in a hurry, we're all set. So that is kind of the plan from here on out. I did have a 32-week growth scan. So I have been having growth scans because for 3 reasons that they put down: an IVF baby, gestational diabetes, and ulcerative colitis. And I kind of laughed at first and was like, oh, I never had growth scans really with the twins. And I had all those 3 things with the twins. And they said, well, you know, the gestational diabetes can produce bigger babies and the ulcerative colitis can produce smaller babies. So now that I'm having trouble with the colitis, it's a good thing I am having these growth scans. So I had a growth scan, 32 weeks. So I had it on last Wednesday. And she is still in the 65th percentile. So she's a little ahead. She's measuring about a week ahead. I had lost like 4 to 5 pounds. And the doctor told me he would be very concerned about the weight loss, except that I had just had a growth scan right before I saw him, and the baby was still in the 65th percentile and growing well. He doesn't want me to lose any more weight, so it's really good that we got this colitis thing under control. They do 3D scans, which are a little bit, you know, freaky, but cool. So there's her little 3D scan. Her little face was smushed against the edge of my placenta and her little hand was in front of her face, so it was kind of hard to see, but it's very cool technology. She weighs about 4 pounds 10 ounces. My twins were born 33 and 1 and they were 4 pounds 8 ounces each, so she's kind of right on par with them, a little bit bigger. Again, the ultrasounds, you know, they have a margin of error anyway. And so yeah, she's growing well, her fluid's good, which is all super great considering I lost like 5 pounds. And yeah, so things are looking up. If you would have asked me at the end of last week how things were looking, I was literally in tears. I can't do this. It's awful. I'm gonna go into labor early. Terrible. Now that I've gotten some of the ulcerative colitis issues under control, a little bit better. We're still not there, but we're on the mend. I'm feeling a little more hopeful that I won't deliver early. I started getting more stuff ready. If you've watched these videos, you know I already have clothes washed. I've been doing things slow. So this weekend I was able to wash my new ring sling that I got that I'm super excited about. Check out, you know, bottles. I have a list on Amazon. I just need to order some bottle nipples and a few more things. I'm gonna try to exclusively nurse, but if I can't, I want to have bottles on hand. So yeah, we're really getting there and it's starting to feel real. We're renovating our living room, so we're in the middle of that and hopefully that will be done on time. But it is starting to feel real. I'm starting to feel a little more tired during the day, trying to rest more. Honestly though, it's all perspective. And now my tiredness and how I feel is 100% better than how I felt the last 2.5 weeks. So normally I think I would be like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. And now I'm like, I feel great. Like this is awesome, you know, but the reality is I still have 2 toddlers that wear me out. But that is where we are. We are trucking along to 33 weeks this week and I will be back for another update. I think all the negative pregnancy symptoms have been pushed to the back of my mind. I know I had a comment asking about if I had any negative kind of pregnancy symptoms, and it's hard for me to answer the, have you been more gassy and all that stuff because of all this ulcerative colitis stuff. And I think all the negative pregnancy symptoms have been pushed to the back of my head. And even if I have them now, I'm just thankful that it's not the colitis symptoms, because it honestly felt like I was dying. So yeah, so maybe next week I'll be able to more talk to normal pregnancy symptoms and if there's anything sort of negative in that respect. This week I'm just thankful that I'm on the mend from the colitis. I'm thankful that my GI doctor jumped on it super fast and wanted to get things taken care of. And if any of you guys have ulcerative colitis and you have any advice or you want to talk, let me know. I've had it for a very long time. I've never had it this bad, a flare this bad. And on top of pregnancy, I just feel for the people that have these kind of issues on the daily with Crohn's or colitis. It's an invisible disease, and it's just, I feel for them. So anyone out there, I feel for you, and I hope things get better for you. And I hope to see you guys next week. So be sure that you subscribe. There will be another video this week. It won't be a pregnancy update. The next pregnancy update will be next week. That will be the 33-week update. And we're just trucking along. So I hope you guys are having a great day. Make sure to subscribe, follow us on Instagram, and I will see you guys soon. I'll leave you with a bump.